Assalamualaikum and hi to Sir Muhammad Noor. So my groups and I will presenting about skill acquisition and performance enhancement on hockey. This is my group members: Ani Shafira binti Abdul Harith, Nurul Arina binti Badarul Hisham, Muhammad Zikri bin Ridwan, Najiha Hayati binti Muhammad Zahir, Muhammad Izwan bin Mat Aladdin, dan myself itself Adriana Bakir binti Cian. So, in this presentation, we will go through from introduction and then continue with stages of skills acquisition. In that, we have skill acquisition stages, progression from novice stage to expert stage, then 10,000 hours practice, then we go to Jamie Dwyer learning experience, drills in 3 stages, and also demonstration, instruction, and feedback.
As many of you know, the origin of the hockey can be traced back to England in 18th century. It was already one of the most popular game at the time. And in 1876, the first hockey association was established in the United Kingdom. Hockey made its debut in the Olympic in 1908 but was later withdrawn in 1924. However, this withdrawal prompted the creation of Federation Internationale de Hockey sur Gazon (FIH) in 1924, which was established to oversee the sport internationally. The International Federation of Women's Hockey Association (IFWHA) was established in 1927, which was dedicated to promoting and organizing women's hockey. The IFWHA later merged with the FIH in 1982, creating the current International Hockey Federation. Now, let's talk about the game itself. Hockey is a form of invasion game in which two teams of 11 players face off against one another. The objective is to score more goals than the opposite team. There are several basic regulations and standards that we must abide by when participating in hockey, including the use of the flat side of the stick and 3 methods of scoring a goal. Hockey is a game of skill, strategy, and sportsmanship. It is a game that has evolved over time and will continue to do so. Moving on into the next slide, in 1967, Fitz and Posner proposed 3 distinct stages for the learning of skill. The first one is the cognitive stage, the associative stage, and the autonomous stage. Understanding these stages is crucial for coaches to be more successful in quickening the motor learning process for athletes. The cognitive stage is the early stage of learning. At this stage, the athlete is processing and accumulating information about the sport. They are learning how to handle and grasp the hockey stick, also how to make contact with the ball and how to visualize the movement they will perform. Performance at this stage will be inconsistent and the athlete may make many errors. The associative stage is the middle stage of learning. At this stage, the athlete is processing all the information by connecting the action. Performance will be inconsistent and yield small gains, and there will be decrease in linguistic information and fewer improvement in cognitive function. Athletes will be focusing more on how to use and practice their talent, and error will be reduced. The autonomous stage is the last stage of learning. At this stage, the athlete is at expert level and is capable of doing the task flawlessly. They can attend to and analyze additional information and make decisions about strategies and technique at the right time and place. their motor performance become largely automatic with a minimal cognitive processing demands.
Progressions from novice to expert. So the first level will be the novice, and then the second one will be advanced, which is the intermediate, and also lastly will be the expert. First level will be novice. So novice usually acquire the basic skills through verbally and also visual informations. They analyze the skills that been verbally instructed by the coaches and also visually through watching in the internet or maybe the demonstration from the coaches. And the skills of the training will be inconsistent, and at first the movement will be sloppy. It needs higher numbers of training and also a proper guidance on performing the skills. Second level will be advanced. So during this advanced stage, the athlete is in the intermediate level. So after undergoes several times of consistent training, they will be able to perform the basic skill more precise than the novice. And the athletes also able to identify numerous stimuli on the skills that they are performing. Means that they have higher proprioceptive inputs that able them to control the movement of the skill. They know how to control the movement, and also they know how to twitch on to improve the movement to become more precise and also sharp. The last stages of athlete is the expert stage. Okay, so athletes during this stage, their movements or their skills comes automatically. Means that if they want to perform a specific skills, that movement comes automatically without them need to focus on how to perform the skills. And usually the skills that come automatically in this stage is much more precise and almost perfect, because of their motor ability is able to replicate the movement or the skills the same conditions as while they are training. So their cognitive focus on analyzing the surrounding instead of the skill is much more higher. So which means they are able to focus on the opponent movements and also to predict what they are going to do next, instead of just focusing on the skill, because of the skills is come naturally. So that's differentiate between experts and also novice.
Hello, my name is Adana Bakis, and I will continue about 10,000 hours practice time researched by Ericsson at home. Ericsson devised 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, claiming that skilled players learn patterns of play via experience and that they must know around 50,000 patterns to reach the master level. Usually takes around 10,000 hours, which is 20 hours per week for 50 weeks, which is for a total of 10,000 years to accomplish in order to reach the expert level, after which they will be adept in performing the talents in their chosen sports. Once you understand the behavioral concept of shaping, you recognize that no habit or skill can be developed until the activities that comprise that habit or skill are repeated several times. Furthermore, the desired action must be positively rewarded via repetition. Outside of deliberate strategy that includes consequences, repetition is inadequate. The conditions surrounding that recurring workout will begin to provide an answer to the question of how long it takes to create habit strength. So when they are initially introduced to a sport, not all athletes can perform all of their talents flawlessly. They will start with cognitive skills, with the purpose of understanding the competence in the sport. They will be unable to perform the skill perfectly at this point since they will be relying on the coach knowledge and trial and error to direct their development. They will then develop their talents and their blunders and errors will decrease. They will be able to begin self-analysis and motion correction. Furthermore, they are aware of the information they are learning and are aware of what they do not know. Finally, they will be an exceptional athlete in the autonomous stage at this level. According to Ericsson, it took 10,000 hours to acquire this level. They exercise every ability with the same repetition and attempt to perfect the sport. In hockey, for example, the player will practice passing the ball with the stick for 10 repetitions before executing a dribbling drill to increase the agility for 10 repetitions. It is not suggested that they practice only one talent that they are skilled at since they will fall short in other areas. So, Jamie Dwyer, an exceptional Australian hockey player, was chosen for our investigation. He made his debut after graduating from high school. In addition, he enrolled in the Hockey Australian Institute of Sports in 1999, but was not accepted. In 2000, he was named to the national squad for the Olympics in Sydney. After that, he worked hard and joined the international team the next year.
As you know, Jamie Dwyer is a well-known Australian hockey player who is regarded as one of the sport's all-time greats. Jamie Dwyer was born in a small town in Queensland, Australia on March 12 in 1979. With an Olympic gold medal, Commonwealth gold and World Cup gold, he is without a doubt one of the most gifted players to ever play the game of a hockey sport. He has been named the best hockey in the world for a record for 5 times. And he is well known not only in Australia, but in other hockey crazy countries worldwide. He also mentors young hockey players and he made his debut for Australia in 2001 and quickly established his worth to the hockey community with his flawless playing style and high energy. When he was given a choice of jersey numbers, he had no hesitation choose in selecting number 1 because that is what he aspired to be in. And in 2003 for Champions Trophy competition, during that tournament, however, he suffered a knee injury. And in 2010, he launched JDH, his own hockey brand. After many years of playing hockey, he decided to venture into the business of designing his own brand hockey sticks, utilizing his vast experience in the game. And also, Jamie has also coached young hockey players and led clinics. Lastly, for a long time, he considered starting an online coaching business, while he now does through website Dwyer Online.
Hi, my name is Najiha Hayati binti Muhammad Zahir, and I will continue the next slide, which is drills that can be implemented to athlete in 3 stages. 3 stages, which is cognitive stages, associative stages, and autonomous stages. I'll choose movement dribbling. In cognitive stages, athlete will learn the fundamental of sport throughout the cognitive phase, make repetitive errors, and practice in a control setting. For example, repeating drills that do not need decision making. Once the player has grasped the requirement and is able to perform in an open area. In this stage, the first thing is about hand grip, second ball carrying, and third is yardstick drill. Next, associative stage In this stage, a player will practice the essential skills in an open setting while still relying on the coach input. This step necessitated making a decision. First, shadow dribbling. Second is coach call colors. And the third one is cone dribble.
So, for the autonomous stage, which is the athlete is now at the expert level and is capable of doing the task flawlessly. The skill gets considerably simpler to do throughout the autonomous phases of the learning because the player can assemble the needed movements into the right sequence without thinking, and also the performer can recognize their faults by feel as they practice the task and they know what they have done right and poorly without receiving feedback from an external source such as coach. And during the autonomous stage of learning, which is include cone dribble and turn, run and cone dribble, and also lastly the Indian dribble.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zikri Beridwan and I'm from SR2434B. So I will share the slide with you guys, which is the demonstration, the instruction and also the strategic feedback method that can be used by the coaches in facilitating the athletes during the training program. So in this slide you will know how the development of the existing skill, how to improve the existing skill that are ineffective, and also is it appropriate or not to be used by the beginner. Step 1. The stance. A proper dribbling stance is when you're facing the ball and your body had to be straightened. So your leg must stand shoulder width apart and your knee have to bend appropriately so that you can maintain your balance while you dribbling. So this is the common basic movement that all player can focus. Step 2, the grip. You have to hold the top of the stick with your left hand. So for turning the stick, and you have to hold the middle stick with the right hand to control the stick movement. You have to make sure that your hand is not too close while holding the stick, because you will have the less ball control. Step 3, turning and controlling the ball. You have to use your left hand where you put at the top of the stick when you want to turning the stick, and use your right hand to control the movement of the stick. The common error that we can see from the athlete is they basically rotate with both hands. So the purpose of turning the stick is to contact the ball with the flat side of the stick. So that means that you are constantly turning the stick while you dribbling with the ball.